they want to talk.
Set up the meeting. It needs to be on our turf.
Of course.
I have a bad feeling about this.
Troops?
No. Jets.
So, when they released the trailer for CrossfireX, for the single-player campaign, I got obviously very excited, because before I had heard they were bringing this big, like, Asian multiplayer shooter to the West, exclusively for Microsoft consoles, and I didn't really care, but when I saw that trailer, seeing that Remedy was doing the campaign, and that it was going to be like a hybrid of a Call of Duty type shooter, but with high concept science fiction, I got very excited. And when the game finally came out, I was so eager to try out one of these last remaining games coming to the Xbox One that I got the free download to the multiplayer, and then I bought the first campaign digitally, because I typically like to lean towards getting physical games, but I was really excited for this game simply off of that trailer. And come to find out, the trailer promised a higher quality game than what we actually got. So I'm going to unfortunately get into it now. That trailer isn't what we got. And I'll be honest, at times, this game was visually stunning. Alright, there were a few moments in this campaign where, boy, that does look nice. But most of the time it isn't. Because there were some serious graphical issues in this game, including like popping. One of the most common issues is when switching weapons, just switching your weapon. The second weapon will not fully load in until like 30 seconds later. Serious graphical bugs. And yes, granted, credit where credit's due, I played this on the Xbox One S. I didn't even play it on an Xbox One X. I play it on a One S. So this really is the bottom of the barrel in terms of graphical performance. But at the same time, making animations pop in right away when you switch weapons shouldn't be that hard to do. Also, I played Halo Infinite on the One S, and I didn't have nearly the amount of graphical issues that I had with this game. A much smaller, less demanding game, because this wasn't open world, it didn't have the mechanics that Halo Infinite had. So, yes, Halo Infinite had more time to fix its bugs, but seriously, Remedy should have been able to have knocked this out of the park at the very least, and they didn't. Even graphically, they didn't. And if it was just with graphical inconsistencies, I could forgive that. But this game, the shooting isn't even that great, because the shooting is just way off. I mean, when I go to aim towards a guy, it either overcorrects or it'll undercorrect. And so I am literally finding the aiming throughout this entire campaign. There was only a few times I actually had fun with a firefight, because most of the time I am trying to shoot a guy just once, and only about one of my rounds in a 30-round magazine will probably hit a character in this game. I can't imagine how ridiculously hard this game would be on its hardest mode with this aiming setup. I tried playing with the settings, like trying to tweak the sensitivity of the controller, but even then I could not really get the aiming to fit in a realistic fashion. And typically with a shooter, I like to shoot, if possible, semi-auto, which is one round for every pull of the trigger. So it's single fire, one at a time with every pull of the trigger. And with this game, you have that option, but when I tried playing it like that, I was dying frequently because I was trying to over and under fight the over and under correcting aim, and every time I think I was going to get him, I'd fire, I'd miss, I'd try to reconnect, fire again, miss then, and I would be dead. And so the only way to play this is to just spray the area and hope you hit the enemy target. That is how I played through this game, and that is not a good way to play through a video game. That's how much trouble I had fighting the aiming in this game. And I've played first-person shooters on a controller before, so it's not the, oh, you should have done it on a mouse argument. No, it's literally the aiming in this game was broken. Although something really funny though that cracked me up is, this is one of the few games I've played where I actually enjoyed using sniper rifles. Like, that was the exception to the rule, was whenever I had a sniper rifle, it was like super easy to use and so much better than sniper rifles in Call of Duty games. Because in Call of Duty games, you're always on maps that do not support sniper rifles. So it's like, oh cool, I found a sniper rifle. And literally you're like in close quarters combat in a house. It's like, it does not fit. And whenever you do, the aiming is just like so slow to get up to your eye. And in this game, they actually made it where using a sniper rifle was kind of fun, which is weird because I've had so much problems with this game, but when it came to sniper rifles, that was the exception. I didn't get that. I didn't understand that. And so just thank you for making the sniper rifles fun, at least, I guess. But something weird about this game is like there's a bullet time function where you hit a button on your controller and then you go into like this slow motion bullet time where you can like pick off a couple enemies, and it works okay, I guess, but the issue is they never explain why you can do that in the game. I mean, it's bad enough that they never explain regenerative health for the past 20 years that shooters have been using it, but at this point, it's like, okay, so you can regenerate health just by being out of damage for a while, and you can slow down time and move really fast. Why is this possible? And they never explain it. I would have thought that Remedy would have had fun with the story, coming up with crazy shit, but they didn't. Now, something this campaign did that I did like was the use of switching in and out of characters in a level. So case in point, you'll be a character, you'll be pinned down, and then the game will then shift focus out of you and go over to like your buddy who's sniping, and you'll start sniping, defending the character that you were playing, and then when he's done sniping, it'll go back to that character. Now, you don't have control over this, but it's still used in a pretty clever way, and it's used effectively. I won't say it's great every time, because there's a few times it did get obnoxious, but for the most part, I liked how they implemented this idea, and I liked jumping back and forth between my characters in the campaign to kind of defend myself with the enemy opponents. And another interesting thing I did like about this campaign is, unlike every other shooter where you play a US Special Forces team member, in this game you're playing a mercenary. you work for this company called Global Risk, which is a terrible name, but you're playing a merc for this private military corporation, and the game like doesn't have this big message about how terrible and evil private military corporations are. It's just like, oh, you're a mercenary. Okay, here's the game. It's like, we don't really get to see that, so I liked that aspect as well. But the thing is, this overall felt like a generic Call of Duty. There was never a single point in this game where I felt like, oh, this is better than Call of Duty, or oh, this is of the same cinematic quality as Call of Duty. It always felt like an amateur trying to replicate Call of Duty. And honestly, if I have to point to a game that this most felt like a sibling to, it would not be Call of Duty, it would be Sniper Ghost Warrior 3. This felt like it was not developed by Remedy, it felt like it was developed by CI Games, the company that made Sniper Ghost Warrior 3. And like, down to the way weapons work, the graphics, the way menus load, this feels like it's a CI Games production. Take from that what you will, it didn't feel like Remedy. And another thing that was terrible were the characters and the voice acting. The characters and voice acting in this game were atrocious. And like, I couldn't put my finger on why I hated the voice acting so much, but another reviewer on YouTube actually hit it on the head. It sounds like every 4 words is a new sentence when characters talk. And so instead of saying that I went down into the ravine to find my friend because he was lost and trapped and I had to hurry before the time window expired, it came off like, I went down to the ravine, I lost my friend, I had to hurry, time window was expiring, I had to find him quick, he may not laugh. I mean, like, every 4 words felt like the start of a new sentence when it didn't need to. And, like, it was a weird way for the voice actors to deliver their lines, but even then, a lot of the dialogue was very bad, cringy, boring, and a lot of the characters just contributed nothing of any interest, and any characters that did remotely look interesting were barely in the game at all. And so, like, overall, I was just waiting this entire game for Remedy to, you know, be Remedy, because Remedy is kind of known for their high concept sci-fi fantasy that they've done in their video games, whether it be Alan Wake, Quantum Break, Control. You know, they are known for some of their really crazy science fiction elements. And even judging from the trailer for this game, it looked like they were going to implement that. And when I got this campaign, it felt like they forgot to do that. And by the end of the campaign, when you finally find out what the Catalyst is, they don't really explain it. It's like, oh, the Catalyst can do this. It's like, okay, like, what was the Catalyst doing? The game's over. It's not worth talking about. But seriously, like, what is the Catalyst? The game's over. It's not worth talking about. But, like, okay, so what was it doing to him? We saw what it was doing to this one character, but, like, you didn't explain what it was doing. It's like, it's not important. The campaign's over. It's like they didn't push that extra step to make this a weird sci-fi crossover. And, like, there are these scenes where you're having this, like, weird dream sequence in a house, and the house is, like, constantly changing, and there are, like, ghosts all around. They never explain what those were. Like, why would you do that and not explain it? It makes absolutely no sense that you would do this, Remedy. And so, like, the ending felt rushed, and ultimately, when the game was over, I was asking myself, what was the point of this? Because it feels like there was no point. It feels like they just tacked on a campaign so that they could say, yeah, there's a campaign on this. Is it any good? Not really. And so I won't explain how I did, but I paid $5 for this campaign. And even then, it feels like I wasted $5. which is sad because it's a Remedy game. Remedy makes better quality stuff than this. And so, if you're interested in this for the multiplayer, then you can get that for free. I would say, even if you want to get the next campaign, you don't need this one. I will get the next campaign to try it out and see if this is absolutely crucial. But judging from what I've experienced, I don't think the Catalyst needs to be played at all. I'll let you know in the next review if the Spectre campaign absolutely needs the Catalyst campaign, but I'm thinking it probably doesn't. So you can easily pass this one, unless you're really big into sniping. The sniper rifles were actually kind of cool in this. So, that's been my review of CrossfireX Operation Catalyst. And don't forget to, do the thing. And my name's Christopher Connor, and this has been 11th Hour Reviews, and that will be